What's going on, guys? I'm Jake, the Offensive Gamer, and this is a bit of a channel update. I know I don't really make many of these very often, but I felt like it was kind of necessary because at the moment there's just a lot of, I feel like my posts are kind of infrequent, and it doesn't feel like there's a clear sort of direction that the channel is headed at the moment. I just get that sense that a lot of people are a little like, kind of, okay, what the fuck is going on right now? Simply because of, I'm posting like a video here, a video there, maybe once, one video a day, one video every 2 days, maybe a video every 3 days. It's very, like I said, it's very infrequent, and I know it's probably a little, perplexing at times. The entire purpose of this video, for the most part, is just to give you guys the heads up that, look, even though things have been a little weird as of late, they're gonna get back to normal relatively soon. It's just when there's not very many new games out, it just kind of makes things a little difficult to really know what to post next. A lot of one-off videos, you saw that with like One Late Night and games like that. But in the next like week or so, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter is supposed to come out on the 25th in particular. It's supposed to come on the PC, the PS4, Xbox One, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm very excited for that game, actually. Another sort of detective type of game, like solving mysteries, and it has like a horror element to it. It's actually, I've heard a lot of people compare it to like a first-person version of what was it? Murdered Soul Suspect, which I think is a fair comparison. It does have that sort of look to it. Even the font of like the clues and stuff looks similar, so I can see that conclusion. But I'm very excited for this game nonetheless, and I've been keeping track of it actually for about a year now. I've been keeping tabs on it. There really wasn't very much to know about it until about, I'd say, a month, maybe 2 months ago at most, when a trailer came out. And that really got me pumped, because now there's an official release date, and so yeah, it's definitely coming, and that's around the time that things are going to start to get back to normal. This is the first time I've had an actual like audience of people that are not just like randomly stumbling on my videos, or people that are genuinely interested in the things that I'm doing. This is the first summer I've gone through that, and as most people know, summer is kind of like the wasteland for gaming. And so having a channel that first time during the summer where people are actually watching has been difficult for me to really find a sort of motivation, or not motivation, that's not the right word, but just figure out exactly what I want to do, you know? Because I'm at that point where I'm like, I have an audience, but it's not like enough of an audience to start like a really huge game. Even LA Noire, I was noticing by the end of it, people were starting to get kind of burnt out on it. Well, not burnt out, but it's like, I don't want to start up like two really big games like that at the same time for the single sake of like, just if there is something that pops up, there could be a bit of a problem in terms of, you know, like continuity. I know I tend to kind of just stop doing games a lot, but I like to be able to finish them most of the time, at least, especially if they have like a strict narrative, like LA Noire. So I've had like a lot of people clamoring for Mass Effect. There was one person in particular most recently, but there have been many times I've been getting a lot of messages about that, getting a lot of comments, especially the last like 3 or 4 months, people asking me to start up Mass Effect, and I want that to be understood that I will be starting up that game at some point. It's just not going to be now. I'd like to build up more of an audience before I start up such a huge series like that, that's like 70 parts per game. Like, that's a really big thing to take on, and after a while, you know, you get to start to get burnout on it, because you're only getting the same exact amount of people watching those videos every single time. So it makes it difficult to find motivation to continue doing it, especially when, even when like people are losing interest in it, which isn't something that I really typically have to deal with, but there is the occasional time where I'm like, wow, there was a major drop-off with this video in comparison to the previous one. Doorways had that in particular, with part 4, in comparison to part 3. So that was a little disheartening with that series, but once again, I'm getting kind of off track, but this is a bit of a channel update, but also kind of just a state of the channel, how I'm feeling at the moment. So, yeah. Back to Ethan Carter. Like I said, that's going to be like the staple of when things are really going to start to you know, get back to normal and the way that I like to do things. And this summer has been very educational for me as to how I want to run the channel from here on out. So this was a bit of a growing period for me, and I appreciate the people that stuck with me and were understanding and were willing to sit through, you know, shit, sorry, 1 second. Yeah, I'll leave this page. Fucking some sort of pop-up that just came up. Sorry about that. Anyway, I like I said, I do appreciate you guys for, you know, sitting through that stuff and understanding that, you know, that there's a bit of a growing pain every once in a while when it comes to being a channel that's, you know, just starting up, and all, or not starting up, but just growing an audience. It's new for me, and you know, I'm learning. I'm learning a lot, actually, and I am really valuing this experience. But anyway, that's not the only game that I'm going to be doing, obviously. On the that's the first one, and then a game that I'm actually looking forward to, which I didn't think I would, because I kept on seeing it, and at first I was like, meh, but I'm seeing some previews for it. I'm actually genuinely excited for it now. Is Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments, that comes out on the 29th. Another detective game, obviously. It's Sherlock Holmes. But just looking at it and looking at the graphics, looking at the narrative it seems to be given, at least in the trailers, it really seems interesting, and I'm actually like really excited for it. Whenever you see like a brand on a title, you know, you just kind of, like Sherlock Holmes even, you know, you think to yourself, oh, well, this isn't going to be very good, because you always associate like these brands with like movie license games, for example. When Batman Arkham Asylum first came out, even then, I was a lot younger then, obviously. I'm acting like I'm fucking ancient now. I'm like 20, but anyway, I saw that game when I was younger, and I was like, even then, I was like skeptical about it because it was Batman, you know. But after I played it, obviously, I was very happy. So I'm hoping that Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments is going to be more like Batman Arkham Asylum and less like, you know, pretty much any other superhero game or any movie license game that has ever come. Something that needs to be understood about that title in specific is that I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to do full playthrough of it. It's something that I'm a little bit hesitant because of that initial skepticism. Depending on how it goes and how I like it, I will do a full playthrough, or I might just do a few parts. It really just kind of depends. And same thing goes for another game that comes out on the 30th, Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Hold on 1 second. I'm actually a little bit less inclined to do that game for two reasons. One, Shadow of Mordor is based on Lord of the Rings, and if anybody knows how fandom is, and you know, there's a big fandom for Lord of the Rings, they could be very ruthless and incredibly like just shitty towards people, and that's one thing that I'm a little bit it doesn't make me not want to do the game, it just makes me slightly hesitant because people can be so cunty about like the thing that they really love. And, you know, I don't think that Lord of the Rings is going to be any different. Mainly, and the reason why I say this is because I'm not really into Lord of the Rings lore. Not that I necessarily won't be interested in the game. It's just that I never really got into the movies. And so that just kind of gives me a slight concern about the title in general. Once again, I will try out a few parts of it. If it sticks and people enjoy it and, you know, I enjoy it, then I will continue that for a decent while. Between those two games, I'm going to finish one of them, and I'll try to finish both if I like them. But just keep in mind, one of them has a slight chance at not getting finished. Hold on, what's this? I'll take a look at that later, but that one looked interesting. But yeah, I'm going to try to finish one. If I do end up liking both, and I do plan on finishing them, I'm going to try to finish one before this next game that comes out, and I'll probably kind of post, you know, videos of the other one, you know, a decent amount, and then when this game comes up that I'm about to say that I'm going to do, I'll stop it for a while until I finish that one, and then I'll pick it back up and try to finish it really quick. But the game that I'm speaking of is Alien Isolation. Obviously, everybody's going to fucking do that game. It looks amazing. I think it's going to be great. You know, a lot of people are kind of comparing it to Outlast more so than Amnesia in terms of the style that's going to be for that first-person horror game. It is first-person, I believe. everything I've seen for most of what I've seen of it has indicated it would be first person. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that, and I don't see anything else I would need to say about it. I'm really excited. There's also The Evil Within, which I also plan on taking care of, which comes out on the 14th, about 7 days after Alien Isolation. I might do like a one-off video of Rise, Son of Rome, but since it came out over a year ago, this is just the PC version. It's going to be just like Dead Rising 3. I'll do like one video of it, maybe, if I can find any sort of entertainment value to come out of it. But yeah, that's kind of how that's going to go. But I'm definitely looking forward to Alien Isolation and The Evil Within, two really highly anticipated horror games coming up within a week of each other. Gotta say, that's a little bit intimidating. What I will say is, and I think that some people have noticed this, is that I have a tendency with games to kind of go in between either, doing face cam or just no face cam. And some people do this. I noticed Harshly Critical, if you guys are aware of him, does that as well. I came across him a little while back, and I was like, oh wait, that's pretty cool. I'm not as stringent on it as he is. Like I pretty much stick to like first-person horror games. Those are the types of games I like to do face cam with, because it makes sense, right? There's a reaction to be had. But without the face cam, or without that reaction that's necessary, I don't see the point in face cam. It just seems like more work and not really, or it's not even that much more work. It's really not. But it just, to me, it feels like pointless. It's more so just a matter of taking up space in the screen than anything. So yeah, that's just sort of my philosophy on the whole thing. Some people might disagree, but I really do feel like that's the best way of going about it. So, and the reason why I'm talking about this is that Alien Isolation, I'm like 99.9% sure it is first person. Everything I've seen of it is, but also like seeing that whole thing with Sigourney Weaver and like the people from the original Alien movie, like having sort of their own sort of DLC thing on it. It kind of gave me this feeling that there might be some third-person shit. I'm not sure. But assuming it is first-person, there is going to be face cam for Alien Isolation. Don't worry about that. The Evil Within is going to be up in the air. It really depends. I look at it and I think to myself more like, an early Resident Evil Silent Hill sort of game. And if it's third-person, and it is that game is third-person, I don't really think that there is much use in going for a game like that with face cam. It just feels kind of pointless. That's just my thought, but I haven't 100% decided on that, so don't be too like worried about that. I still plan on giving you solid commentary and all that. On the 17th, there's Borderlands, the pre-sequel. I'm not really much of a Borderlands guy, I'm gonna be completely honest, but I do enjoy the art style. I think it's interesting, and I like the I did try some Borderlands 2 and I enjoyed the gameplay. It was purely just sort of one of those things where it's just like I picked it up, I played it for a little while, and then I just stopped playing it, and I haven't really felt the need to go back to it. It's a game I enjoyed, but I didn't love. I think that's the best way of putting it. But yeah, I'm not very well versed in the things that happen with Borderlands 2 and the original Borderlands. So once again, it might be another one of the situations where that I have with Shadow of Mordor, where it's like there's huge, following behind that game, and it's like a lot of other people might be really like cunty about it, like, you don't know this, oh my god. But I imagine that I'll try to finish that game. I'm gonna have more than enough time, because the next game that really has my interest that comes after that doesn't come up until Lords of the Fallen, which is on the 30th. So that gives me almost 2 weeks to finish that game. So I definitely I'm gonna try to finish it. And then Lords of the Fallen is one that I'm not 100% I'm gonna try. I'll probably buy it. I'm gonna play it on my own no matter what. Give it a shot. I'll probably buy it. I'll give it an hour of just playing, because I've heard a lot of comparisons to Dark Souls. Oops, I just bumped the microphone. Sorry about that. But I see a lot of comparisons to Dark Souls. And if you know anything about me, I'm not like or if you've heard anything from my commentaries about Dark Souls, you'll know that I'm not a huge Dark Souls guy. I enjoy doing like dual comms about it, because it's fun to like really suck at that game and make make light of it. But just on my own, I just don't see anything happening but me getting frustrated and annoyed with it. And if Lords of the Fallen is anything like that, I'm not going to be very fond of that game by playing by myself. But I'm not ruling it out. I'm just saying that, don't don't, like, count on me playing that title. Let's see. What else do we have? Alright, so going into November, the first title that I'm taking a look at, but if it's as long as the original, I don't know if I'm gonna try this one. But The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, you know, it's like the game, the base original game. I've seen people doing playthroughs of it going to like part 40, and I'm like, I can't do a game that long. Like, I could do it if it were during the summer and I wouldn't have a problem with it, but the fact that it's in November is a problem. There's like 4 other games in November coming out around the same time frame, and it makes it makes me nervous about it. So once again, it's another game don't be 100% sure on. I know there's a lot of games I'm saying maybe, but you know, the games for sure are the ones that I feel like a lot of people are really going to want to see. The other games are like people would be meh towards. So that's kind of my policy on that. The Crew, I'll probably do a one-off video on that. It's a racing game. I don't, you know, what am I going to do with it? Like post 20 videos on that? No. I might have some, like, for like videos where I'm talking, I might have some background excuse me. I might have some background shit, but overall, nah. Let's see. Assassin's Creed Unity, I'm gonna try that out. I'm gonna try to play the whole game. I also am gonna probably try out the other Assassin's Creed game. I can't remember what it was called off the top of my head, but it's coming out around the same time on the PS3, and it's a prequel to Unity. Or it's not even technically a prequel. It's like a prerequisite, I think is a better label for it. I'm probably not going to do both on the channel just because they're both really long games. Assassin's Creed games are typically 20 plus hours, so doing them both at the same time, which is really weird just for continuity's sake, because one of them is like directly linked with the other and it takes place beforehand. So it's like I would probably get mixed up a lot with the narrative of it. I'd be like, what the fuck is going on now? It'd probably just be better for me to do one now and then wait for the other one later. So I'll probably try out the prequel first and then take on Unity during December or something like that. Like I said, it's all up in the air. These are just things that are going through my mind at the moment, different ideas I have. This is going on for very long. I'm almost at 20 minutes. Holy shit. All right, Dollhouse. That's another one that's coming out sometime in November. It's an indie adventure game, one that I'm keeping my eye on, you know. Far Cry 4 comes out on the 18th, or is that 18th? Yeah, comes out on the 18th. Definitely going to do this game. I am very excited. I'm not going to say I'm very excited for it. I'm decently excited for it. It's a title that I think between that and Dragon Age Inquisition, which also comes out in November, the one I'd be more likely to do is Far Cry, because it's... what I know about Far Cry is much more of a strict narrative, and knowing BioWare games, they're very fucking long, and, you know, just for the viewer base that I have, I feel like anything that's longer than 25 parts is probably not the smartest idea. I need to wait until I gain another, you know, 10,000 subscribers before I decide to take on a title that is as long as Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm gonna play the game, I just don't know if I'm gonna post a lot of videos on it. So that's just how I feel on that. And with that, that's about it, actually. So that's pretty much me mapping out how things are going to go for the most part from here on until about the end of November. I hope you guys, you know, got some information out of this and you feel a little bit more at ease about where the direction of the channel is going. I am sorry that things are so kind of inconsistent at the moment. It's growing pains. That's really all it is me just trying to figure out exactly what I want to do when, you know, the wasteland of gaming begins during the summer. I do have a couple more one-off horror titles I'm going to be posting over the next few days. And I probably am gonna, and I'm gonna try to finish Doorways in the next day or two as well. And then by that point, I think that that's around the time that The Vanishing of Ethan Carter will begin. So I'll have all that set up and ready right in the nick of time. Holy shit, I just got to 20 minutes. I was thinking this was gonna be like a 5-10 minute video at maximum. I just got to 20 minutes just talking endlessly about these things. Oh, one more thing. Grand Theft Auto 5, I'm not going to be doing the PS4 or Xbox One versions. I'm going to wait until next year for the PC version to come out. It's the fucking PC version. It's going to be way better looking. It's going to, you know, be moddable and all that. Are you fucking kidding me? That's going to be awesome. So I'm very, very excited for that. But that's probably going to be about, what, February, something like that, whenever Grand Theft Auto 5 comes out on the PC. So, yeah, that's that. And that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video before I look like an asshole. So if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and all that. And I'll see you guys next time.